Okay, Basi Legani. Basi Legani of Tavshin Dalid Mem. They don't write shh. They don't write Mem Dalid because that means Shmad, which means to convert, God forbid. So it's called Tavshin Dalid Mem. Okay, so the Rebbe is explaining about Basi Legani, through the Chatoim, the Shechina left. Through the Chatoim, the Shechina left, and through the seven tzaddikim to Matan Torah, it came down. Hashem wanted that to happen. Like it said, Neira Alila B'nei Adam. Hashem wanted the Siluk, the leaving of the Shechina, because He wants the Yidden to bring it back through Avodah. That's the whole purpose. Okay, let's start. Well, I don't know pages, it's different books. But the fourth line into Ace base. He says, because the bringing down of the Shechina down here, Al Yidei Aveda Yisrael, through the Aveda of a Yid, is Nailis Yesis, a much greater level. Why did we learn that Hashem wanted that Yidden should create the Dir B'Tachteinu? Why? Because that's a much greater level than the level of Dir B'Tachteinu that came straight from Hashem. He says, why? The reason for this is because the Amshocha that comes after the Shechina left comes with the Aveda of transformation of darkness to light. When Hashem created the world at the beginning, it was light. What happens to the Aved of Yid? The Shechina left, it became darkness. Now the Aved of the Jew is to transform darkness into light. And therefore, when darkness becomes light, becomes the greatness of Or. Like we know the greatness of Tshuva over Avedis Tzaddikim. In other words, like this, the Rabbi explains in Tanya, when Shlomo Melech says, Yisin ha'er min ha'cheshach, it doesn't mean that light is better than dark. It means the ultimate thing is that darkness becomes light. Which means as follows. Normally, now, in the world generally speaking, when you have a dark room and you bring in light, all you did was dispel the darkness. You pushed it away. You didn't make darkness into light. And the proof of it is the second you turn off the light, the darkness is back. So you didn't transform the darkness. All you did was push it away. The ultimate Aveda is that Cheshach becomes Or. The transformation of dark to light doesn't mean you push away the darkness. That darkness itself becomes light, and that's the Aved of the Yid. Like it says in the Zohar, when you break evil, you reveal a level of Elokus that's infinite, that all the worlds compared to that level are equal. Through the Aved of breaking evil and transforming evil, comes such a lofty level of Elokus, Sha'ef and Agir Shalai. The way it's revealed is in a way of removal. Okay, and the different Maamarim, the Rabbi explained this in the, Perek Vav over there. It says like this. The Zayat is a question where it comes from, but in the Perek they call it the Zayat. That when you break evil, when you break evil, is stalik, you call it the Kudshabiruch. What it means is you bring down a level of Elokus. But why is it called istalik? Istalik means to leave. Istalkus means to leave. Why is it calling this revelation of Elokus in a way of istalik? So in the previous Basi Leganis, it's explained because this level is such a great level of Or. It doesn't come down in the Keli, it's infinite Or. So it can't come down permeating the Keli, because then it's not this infinite revelation. Then it's finite based on the Keli that it's coming into. But Istalik means that this level is the way of a Reimemus, okay, and therefore it's called Istalik, meaning, the beginning of the building of the Mishkan. How does the Eibishter start the building of the Mishkan? Vasisa Kroshim La Mishkan. What is Kroshim? The singular is Kaddish, which is Eisi Sheker. Kuf Reishin is the same letter as the Shin Kuf Reish, which is Sheker. Elo Shil Betziduf Acher, a different combination. Acher Dafka, and it's interesting. It says the expression, it's Betziduf Acher. It's a different combination. Acher is the opposite of Hashem Echad. You have Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, not God forbid Hashem Acher. Lo yishtach v'lekel Acher. So it's a different combination, but therefore it says seed of Acher means, the Rabbi is saying here, Dafki evil, Sheker. Avedi, what's the Aveda? Vasisas Akroshim La Mishkan. What is the Aveda of the Jew? Vasisas Akroshim La Mishkan Ati Shitim Eimdim, meaning Lahapech as a Sheker Da'olam, to take Sheker and to make it into the Kroshim, into Kaddish. Vasisas Akroshim means take the level of Sheker and make the level of Sheker into Kaddish. Li is Kaddish a Mishkan. And also it says Atzi Shitim, like we learned in the other Basi Leganis, the Shtus V'lumazeh, transforming the Shtus of world, the Shtus to Kedusha. So in other words, the Rebbe explained before that where is Elokus coming down? It came down by Matan Torah, Basi Legani. But how do you keep the Shekhinah down here? You keep the Shekhinah down here to a level of making the Mishkan. What's the Aved of the Mishkan? The transformation of evil to Kedusha. Not stam bringing down or that dispels darkness. But actually the purpose of the Mishkan, of Did Shekhinah Ikar Shekhinah B'Tachteinu Ma'isa Dira B'Tachteinu means that the lowest level of evil itself becomes Kedusha. So it says, Vasisas Akroshim La Mishkan, take the Sheker, make it into Kroshim, and it's made from Atzi Shitim, make from Shtus of evil to Shtus of Kedusha. How is it done? He's going to explain by making a base of a Mishkan within ourselves. Then we cause through this the Ikar Shechina B'Tachteinu V'Shachanti B'Seicham, but not in a way like it was when the beginning of creation. It becomes even a greater level than it was B'Tchila Sabriya, because this is accomplished through the Aveda of the Jew. So the Aveda of the Jew is, and this is Neir Alila B'nei Adam. Hashem wanted the Silak HaShechina, Hashem wanted the mess, so to speak, because then the Gili of the Shechina that comes down after you transform darkness to light is a much greater level, and that's why Hashem made it happen. Okay, so now he's continuing in the Maamar, Mamshach Maamar. The Friedrich Rebbe continues in the Maamar, not yet this year's parak, but in parak Yud. Shayishem then Nikroim Yisrael b'Shem Tzivis Havaya. That's why the Jews are called Tzivis Havaya. Krishna calls it like it says, in Parshas Berei, when the Yidden are leaving Mitzrayim, it says, Yotzu called Tzivis Havaya merit Mitzrayim. They all the army of Hashem are leaving Mitzrayim. He says, what's the connection in this level of Tzivis Hashem? Why are they being called Tzivis Hashem? V'yesh levayed kishur inyonim. He says like this: Kimash Yisrael einim ispolim me'achayisha v'asheka da'ilam. The fact that Jews are unaffected by the darkness of the world. In other words, not only they don't allow the darkness of the world to influence them, but adrab, mahapchem eisel kedusha, you transform evil to kedusha. That's only possible in one way. They avoid the Mesidas Nefesh with Kabbalah Sil. It's only with Mesidas Nefesh. To be able, again, normal avodah can only change normal. If you want to make darkness itself becomes light, not dispelled. Darkness becomes light. You can't go through a normal avodah, because normal avodah is normal. Normal cheshech is cheshech and or is or. If you want to make cheshech into or, then you can't be normal. In other words, in simple English, the crazier the world is, the crazier you have to be in Kedusha. Because to transform craziness to Kedusha, you can't do it through normal. You can't do it through normalcy. It has to be done through Mashiach, with craziness. And therefore he says, therefore they're called Mesiras Nefesh, therefore they're called B'Shem Tzivos Hashem. The simple meaning of tzava is a chayil, a soldier. What is a soldier? Like we know in Israel today. They're mamish going with Mesiras Nefesh. V'zel gam kesher Hashem Tzivos Havaya im Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's why the name Tzivos Hashem is only connected to Yetzias Mitzrayim. When was they given to them? When they left Mitzrayim. Then it says, Yotzu Tzivos Hashem Me'eretz Mitzrayim. When they left Mitzrayim, that's when the Jews were called Tzivos Hashem for the first time. K'avei de Begolus Mitzrayim. Because the Aved of Golus Mitzrayim. Well, there's a Bekol HaGolius, all exiles. Shenikra Shem Mitzrayim, which are called all, because Mitzrayim, discussed this the other night. Mitzrayim is the original Golus, and all the Golusin are called Al Shem Mitzrayim, because that allowed all the other Golus. Geulas Mitzrayim was what allowed all the other Geulas. Therefore, even when Mashiach comes, it says, Kimei Tzeischa Meretz Mitzrayim Aren in the floors. Like the days of going out of Egypt, I'll show you miracles. What does that have to do? Because even the Geula of Mashiach has to do with Geulas Mitzrayim. Why are they called Geulas? Because Mitzrayim. Shem Metzidas Yisrael, they torture the Yid. They machen ein Yiddishkeit und Eden. It's Yiddish, he says. It makes oppressed, it makes suffering Jews in Judaism. Is be'ef in the Kabos El Metzidas Nefesh Dafka. How do you survive Golus? Again, in order to survive Golus with the Cheshach is so powerful, the only way you can do it is not normal way. Because the darkness is too powerful to be able to transform it. Shazau inyan tzivos Hashem loshin chayil. Umam shechlevai, and the Friedrich Rebbe continues to explain. He didn't get to Eis Yadalid yet, by the way. He's still going on the journey to Eis Yadalid. Mashiach Yisrael b'Shem Tzivos Hashem. She'ein Hashem Tzvois. It's not the name of Tzvokis, which is name Shem Kodesh Mizayin Shem Shinim Nuchokim, which is one of the 27 names of Hashem that are not erased. The Shem Zan is Gala Yidei Neviim. Okay, this is mentioned in the early Basi Legani is a much greater length. The first time they were called Tzvokis is by Shmuel HaNavi. Tzivos Hashem is really, it's an adjective. The army of Hashem. Okay? He says that's still not the real ultimate. He says the real name Tzvokis, which is one of the 7 names of Hashem that you're not allowed to erase. Tzivos Hashem means the army of Hashem. It's not a holy name. Tzivos Hashem is not a holy name. It's the army of Hashem. But the name Tzvokis, or Tzvois, the proper way of saying it, that's one of the holy names. That's only Nevi'im, Alidei Nevi'im, to Shmuel, in fact. The name Tzvokis, the Jews were called Tzivos Hashem. She'ein Eloshin Shem HaToya, which is not the adjective. K'mei Shem Havayit Tzvokis, Ela Kol Yisrael, Shem Tzivos Hashem. In other words, normally the name Tzvokis refers to Hashem. Tzivos Hashem refers to the Jews, are the army of Hashem. Why? He says, Shatzvois nitfol l'shem Havaya. The army is bottled to the name of Havaya. Hainu b'chinas hanitzutz and shenizbar b'golus Mitzrayim v'nis'alo l'chol b'shem Havaya. The Rebbe is saying is like this. The Jews going out of Mitzrayim are not called Tzvokis. Tzvokis is the name of Hashem. They're called Sivis Havaya, which means the adjective of the noun of Havaya. They are the army of Hashem. Now, what does it mean, army of Hashem? So the Rebbe is explaining that through the avodah of Tzivah Tzava, fighting Mesiras Nefesh, they Tzivah Hashem, they elevate all the captives, meaning all the sparks of Kedusha, of darkness that they need to elevate to Kedusha, is all elevated to the level of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Tzivah Havaya, meaning through the battle in Mitzrayim of transforming darkness to light. Like it says, what happened by the Mak of Cheshach? There was darkness. Not only darkness, the Yomish Cheshach was thick, heavy darkness. By Yidden was light. In that time, they transformed heavy-duty Cheshach. Remember, we've mentioned many times, the Rebbe brings down in another minor of the Friedrich Rebbe, there's an argument in Poskin, so to speak. What is darkness? Is darkness only the absence of light, or is darkness something by itself? There's two opinions. So they bring a proof, by the way, Yetzer Erd Ubeirei Cheshech. But the Rebbe explains in the order at the bottom, he says, you could say both opinions are right. There's a level of darkness, which is the absence of light. And then you have a thicker darkness. He says, like by Yetzias Mitzrayim, by the Makkos, was the Yomish Cheshach. So you have two levels of darkness. You can have a level of darkness, which is the absence of light. You can have a level of darkness, which is tangible darkness. In Aveda, you have the same thing. You can have a level of darkness that there's a lack of Kedusha. Lack of Kedusha doesn't necessarily mean there's heavy-duty Cheshach. And then you can have, you make Cheshach worse. You feed Cheshach.
Give an example of each.
Huh?
Can you give an example?
You can have a person that doesn't have Torah mitzvahs, but they're not necessarily an immoral, corrupt person. They have good morals, they have good character traits, but they don't have art of Torah.
That's lack of Kedusha.
That is lack of Kedusha. Then you have people that are mamish, low lives. They're actively doing cheshach.
The Rebbe said there's such a dark Choshech that you cannot elevate.
Again, it's anti-Semitism of all these Hamases and all these things. That's not stam a lack of Kedusha. That's active evil. It's a tangible evil. Anti-Semitism, things like that. That is tangible evil. It's like it's a mitzvah to do evil. You know what I mean? That's a much worse evil than stam a person who doesn't have Torah mitzvahs. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. And many, many others. Okay, so he says, okay, the Inyan is like this. What was the purpose of the Yidden going down to Mitzrayim? The purpose of the Yidden going down to Mitzrayim, in fact, we mentioned this one Shabbos a few weeks ago. This past Shabbos, Yosef going down to Mitzrayim. Okay, Yosef says to the brothers, last in Vayechi, Atem chashavtem alai ra, Elokim chashav alotei. Hashem knew it was good. What was the good of Yosef going down to Mitzrayim? So one interpretation is that by Yosef, the brothers selling Yosef to Mitzrayim, the brothers were able to be there only Rudu Shama to 10 rather than 400. So it says in Arizal that Yosef going down early to Mitzrayim, before the brothers came down, in the beginning of the hunger, gathered all the sparks of Kedusha. He gathered all the money, all the cattle, everything. So he elevated the sparks that made it easier avodah for the Jews to be able to function Mitzrayim.
Saved them 190 years.
190 years.
I thought Hashem told Abraham, rather than
400 years.
rather than 400, I would reduce it to 210.
No, Hashem didn't tell that to Avram. Hashem said to Avram it's going to be 400 years.
On this time.
From birth of Yitzchak. Okay, so he counted birth of Yitzchak. But technically he didn't have to do that.
Right. Right. So he knew at that time that's going to be 210 years.
Okay, we know, okay, that when Shver said Kalim of Teo, 288 sparks fell down. Okay? The purpose of the Jews going down to Mitzrayim, they did a big job, by the way. Out of the 288, they elevated Erev Rav Ola Itam, 202 sparks of Kedusha. Erev Rav, the Taruvis, not only the Erev Rav, the Taruvis of Kedusha and the Klippa of 202. That means when the Eden left Egypt, out of 288 sparks of Teo that have to be elevated, 202 was elevated. Now we're in there since a few thousand years, and we have 86 to do, which is Shem Elokim.
It's done already.
The Rebbe says done. The Frierdiker Rebbe said all we need to do is polish the buttons. The Rebbe said that's also done. The Rebbe said the only thing we need left to do is to accept Kabbalah's B'nai Mashiach. You have to accept him. Okay, anyway, but that's not for now. B'nai Sheidish Kol Ha'olam, Shoyutchila B'tachos HaHelim V'Hester. Originally, all these sparks of Kedusha were concealed. B'nai Sheidish Kol Ha'olam is V'Hestedim. Mishem Elokim, the source, the spiritual source of all evil, of all concealment comes from Elokim, which is B'gematria Hateva, which is the numerical value of Hateva, which equals 86. Agam Shalokim, Huloshin Elokus, even though Elokim is the name of Hashem, it's only numerical value of Hateva, but it's really Elokus. Elokim is open godliness. Mashiach in Hateva. Shabahu b'helem. On the other hand, though, it's a gematria. It's only a helem. Mikol makemu shemaka l'teva. The Rebbe says like this: the name Elokim, granted it equals Hateva, but it's only a gematria. The real name of Elokim is Kedusha. It's Kedusha. It's one of the main primary Elokeinu. It's probably one of the primary names of Hashem. Hashem and Elokim. So what does it mean, though? That this Elokim is the source, though, of concealment. Because Teva comes from the name of Elokim. So even though Elokim itself is Kedusha, ultimate Kedusha, nevertheless, it's the source of nature, it's a source of evil, it's the source of Gvura. Havaya is no source of evil. The name Yudke Vavke is not no source of evil. What's the original source of evil that exists? Bereshit bara Elokim, Vayomer Elokim. The name of Elokim created nature, created limitation, created eventually evil. But itself is Kedusha. What is the nature? What's the nature of nature? That Elokus comes down in a very, very limited way, which is the love name of Teva, Lishin Tuba B'Yamsuf. Teva comes to the word Tubu, B'Yamsuf, sunken. Why is nature called Teva in Lashon Kodesh? Because the same word is Tuba Uba Yamsuf, sunken in the sea. Why is Teva called Teva? Because in nature, Elokus is not noticeable. It's sunken, it's hidden in there, that you look at the world, you see it's Mother Nature, you don't know there's a God there. And the Aved of the Jew is to reveal in that nature, in the Mitzrayim, to reveal Kedusha.
Wow.